If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me, he's back on the show for like his 27th appearance, who knows. He's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Paul Conti, Radio Free Hammer Hall. How you doing, Paul?
I am doing well. What's happening, nerds? Glad to be here, as always, once again. I think at some point I'm gonna pass Tyler again.
It's gonna happen. Well, you got a while to go. I mean, he did do like every
Yeah,
other week or something for, and then you remember he was on like every week for a while during Tom's hiatus, right? So
yeah.
people come and go, and that's all right. That's all right. We have a generous furlough policy here at Warhammer Weekly, so it's all good. Your mic is cooked. Oh, okay. Hold on, everybody. I'll fix it.
I apologize. I was just trying to pull up the YouTube, and it was going to like all of the wrong things, and I couldn't shut the audio off.
No, that's fine. I'm sure it sounded terrible. I didn't hear anything from you. Okay, everybody, you'll have to tell me if
Yeah.
this sounds better. We should be on the correct mic now. I'm sorry, everyone. It pulled the wrong microphone and I didn't notice. Vince broadcasting on the Armed Forces Network to all the ships at sea. Yeah, absolutely. Hello out there. Yes, our boys are at it again. They're giving those Germans the what for. There we go. Okay, great. At any rate, hey everybody, welcome. Much better. There we go. We fixed it. We fixed it.
Got there.
Cool, cool. Sounded like Fallout radio. Amazing. All right, tonight we're going to talk about Nighthaunt, obviously, but we've got a few things to talk about first. I'm just, you know what I'm most excited about, Paul? This is a silly
Rumor
thing.
engine?
No, not that. Before that, I got a new little Nova notebook. This is what I
Ooh,
keep. This is what I keep all of my timestamps in. This is my old one from 2023 that I had been using, and it's like it was almost out of space. Okay, I've been using this thing to the max and pulling pages out and stuff. We're gonna keep at it. I'm not cracking the new one yet, but I've got a new one, and that's very exciting. Uh, but yes, of course, you are right. There is a rumor engine. It's a Sylvaneth sphere thing. What do you think about that?
uh, I see nothing else besides Sylvaneth. That's one of those unfortunate things where it's like we know exactly what it is. There is
Right.
really no discussion here.
Yes, it is a Sylvaneth spear. It had to be painted in this god awful metal. I'm sorry to the painter who had to do this. I feel bad for you. Uh, it's terrible that you do such nice work, and then they have to zoom in on it like this, and it's rough. It's rough. I would
Yeah,
feel bad. So there you go. You're right.
yeah.
It's probably an arrow. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I said spear, but you're right. It could as well just be a big arrow. 100%. Absolutely right, Cygnus. The point being, it's a Sylvaneth thing. It has their design. Okay.
And for how zoomed in this is, by the way, I just gotta give the shout out to the heavy metal team, like how clean their highlighting is.
Sure. I mean,
Just
this
you're
part
like,
here is pretty rough, but anybody's paint job would look like that if you zoomed into that level, to this like
right,
electron microscope level.
yeah, yep.
So, at any rate, who cares about this boring rumor engine when we've got, boom, the first thing that was actually interesting from the 10-year celebration, Paul, which is
Mm-hmm.
four, count them, wah, 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 four rumor engines. Okay, effectively, for the price of one. What do we have here? We got one representative of each Grand Alliance. Okay.
Yeah,
So top left, we've got some kind of Nurgle guy,
yep,
because that's a big
sure.
fly.
Yeah.
My personal bet, this is the Nurgle equivalent of Blood Reavers. Okay.
Hmm.
I think Nurgle's prepped for a big release. I think they're going to get a bunch of new, like, mortal foot troops. That's right, Halo's here. We'll talk about it in a minute, don't worry. Item number 2 is clearly a Fire Slayer. It's wearing the little Flamekin outfit thing.
Yep.
So
You can see orange beard.
dead giveaway there. Nice little non-metallic metal on that, mixed with the actual metallic metal. Very funny. Everybody always says you can never combine those, and yet here the heavy metal artist is combining. And then of course in number 3 slot, I don't know, I can't tell what it is. What could it be? Could be anything, I guess. It's probably not worth worrying about. We should just move on. No, of course it's a new ogre gut plate. Like a real ogre gut plate. Look at the 3-dimensionality of it. That is an ogre gut plate pull that comes in 2 pieces. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Where like you had to, the old ogre gut plates are like you put it on the front of their belly. You remember the ogres, we've all built ogres. They have this big like hole in their tum-tums that look like a little cannon, right? And you just like you plop the little gut plate right in there and that makes their gut, right?
Yeah.
This is more like, it looks like the gut is the metal plate and then you put the teethies over top of it because you can actually see the space, the like blank space in between the two.
Yeah.
So could this be the much desired, the much dreamed of ogre replacement refreshment? Don't tempt me, Frodo. Okay.
There are rumors going around in the darker corners of the internet about a new ogre release coming up too. So,
I mean, I would love a whole new ogre line. I don't just want it refreshed. Like that's fine. Like we can get new gluttons and iron guts and stuff. Like that's fine. Okay. But I want new ogre stuff. This was like one of my main problems with the Skaven release. We didn't get enough new stuff. I want more new stuff. I want to see what the ogres have been at this eating people for like a couple thousand years now. What are they doing? What are they getting on to? What are they getting on to? Okay. Yes, don't be just a foot hero. That's right. Please. Please. Okay. And so then lastly, we have our OBR guy, some kind of Ossiarch Bone Reaper. He's got a jar. It's got gas in it of some kind. More. Do you love painting more air? Well, worry not. Kind of didn't paint the whole finger there, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on here.
You know what that looks like is like a shaker for mixing cocktails.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're here to collect the tithe, but it's also a party. Like, let's go. Yeah, they make it easier to collect the tithe when they get everybody drunk. It's really nice. They show up. It's like a tiki bar sort of situation. Yeah, 100%. Cygnus said, like I said, an Ossiarch perfumier. Yes, absolutely. Jen S said, but ogres and Skaven already have pretty broad lines. Isn't it a concern that you create armies that become almost impossible to collect for new players like Stormcast and Space Marine? Jen, that's a very good question. I'll give my honest response to it. I don't think ogres actually a very big line. But you retire stuff as well. Like the old bad models go away, of course. Like we don't actually probably need a butcher and a slaughtermaster. Like that probably doesn't need to be a distinction that exists anymore. That kind of came out of the fact that you had Greasus Goldtooth or whatever, and like that. There's the weird old, not Greasus, sorry, the old Slaughtermaster model and the old Butcher model. Like it's a fluke of history. Like you can condense the range at the same time, and that's what they did with Skaven to some degree. But the problem with Skaven is we didn't get we didn't get the refresh Night Runners, and we cut Eshin down to like 2 units. If it's going to be an army that's meant to be that big, then add the models. Right? I mean, look over here at Goblins. They're running around with like 5 different armies in that one book. Right? What I'm asking for is to have the ideas properly filled out. I don't think that's like too much to ask. Like you could condense some stuff down and that's okay. Retire the really old bad models. And, go from there. Just like expand. Like, man, like you could, or at least do some pretty radical updates. I'd be up for that too. Like, what does our new man-eaters look like, or whatever they're called, right? Or something of that. So, yeah. At any rate, holy crap, Mike Davis, a soul Martinsian. Yes. Like Martini, but Martinsian. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Very solid. Solid. I don't think I had more energy before wasted again, but I appreciate the statement. I feel much more energetic now, I assure you. All right. So, anyways, this is very exciting. Win. Win is stuff. You know what this seems like it could have been, Paul?
What's that?
Part of maybe like a reveal show at Nova last week where they gave little teasers for this and showed a little bit of the line.
I mean, that would have absolutely been a thing that, would have been great to do at a big convention. One of the biggest conventions on the planet for miniature wargaming.
Yes. Instead, we drop it into an article here, which like many less people will see than if you do this is a big preview show, because those always go wide and get carried by, a lot of people repost that stuff, right? So whatever. What do I know?
The worst universe for us to be in, though, is for these 4 images to be 4 new Underworlds warbands in like a single box.
Yeah.
Like there's one that's like 4 warbands floating around right now, isn't there? Or
there
was
is
one?
Yeah, they're all collections of the previous ones, but yes. No, I think it'd be fun if it was just like, we're relaunching Warcry and it's a 4-player starter and it's got like 3 new ogres in the OBR and it's like, oh no, why? Oh God. Let's hope I'm very wrong. I would love it if we got more ogres by the by that look like the hero from Cursed Village or whatever, Spooky City, whatever that thing was called,
Cursed City?
Sure, why not? I don't know. I don't know what it was called, and neither does GW. They forgot about it too. Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. So, but at any rate, I really like that ogre in there. He looks a little more like he doesn't have the tummy, but he's a little more like martial. I always liked that look for ogres. There was, there's been a couple over time that they've done that then more in that style. I like that build of ogre. I think it's cool. So yes, the Maledict Municipality. Exactly. That's right. The Haunted Hamlet. You guys are nailing this. Perfect. Okay. But at any rate, this is good stuff. I mean, like, I'm excited. So show me an expanded Nurgle range and an ogre refresh and 2 foot heroes, and I would be fine. That's okay. All right. And that's basically our news for this evening. Everything else is like 40K stuff. This 10-year anniversary. I mean, there's like a White Dwarf that they're gonna do with a bunch of Sigmar stuff in it, but it's just like history of, and also they put out a nice article with some really nice Hashut propaganda, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So John was painting the horns of Hashut guy or whatever from the box at Nova. So that was fun. He said they were pretty easy to paint, pretty fun. So who knows? Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about some pick of the week. Paul, what would you like to share with everybody for your pick of the week?
I'm just going to shamelessly self-promote my own channel. I just did a video earlier this week or end of last week, something like that, on just how important battle tactics are now in this current season. Just kind of breaking down the math of it. And they're more important than I realized after getting a bunch of games and recording all of my results, seeing where everything lies. So go check that out.
Nice. Absolutely. Paul's channel will be linked below. For my pick of the week, we're going to direct you, if you can't get enough of the Nighthaunt coverage, CW Kreiner says pick of the week, painkillers after the 8-round AOS GT. Yeah, it seemed like a real marathon. But for me, if you can't get enough Nighthaunt coverage, why, go check out our good buddy AOS Coach, who's got Maddie on. They're doing a little review I love her outfit, by the way. She's dressed like Super Wednesday Nighthaunt type of thing. Like, it's great during the show. So no costumes here, sadly. Just the normal layers that I wear. Somebody commented in one of my videos, is this man wearing a shirt with an overshirt and a vest with an apron? I was like, how many layers does this guy have? And the answer is yes. That's exactly what I'm wearing. And I'm always cold still. So at any rate, yeah, check it out. Coach and Maddie did a great job. Okay. Paul, before we get on to the Nighthaunt, of course, we've got to do some obligatory hobby time. What's been on your desk, brother? You mentioned going through a bunch of stuff, looking at your results. What are you painting up? Did those insights lead you to paint anything?
Not yet, but I did. I've been a little bit in a painting rut lately, and I decided to pick up my Skaven again and start tooling around with them. So just throwing some paint on some stuff that I had hanging around, and picked up a Brood Horror or Brood Terror, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Gonna start painting that bad boy soon.
It's cool, right? It's a cool model.
Yeah, it's a great model.
One small piece of advice when it comes to the Brood Terror. The little guy in his little friend who's like melded with him. There's like an extra arm hanging down. Like there's some extra, like there's one is like there's a blade, but then there's like these extra little pieces hanging down off of the side of it that look dumb. You can just cut those off and sand it down. He looks way better. It's like the two extra little thin, dangly flesh blades. They look stupid. You can just get rid of those. Yeah. So that's my advice. That's the only small conversion I did with him, and it was great. For me, when I was at Nova, John was nice enough to give me some of these. I'm trying to pick them all up here. They're sitting beside me. Here we go. John was nice enough to give me some of these little like color cards from his deck of many colors that he had over on his channel. If people saw this, he's making this nice thing that has a nice little piece of art on it along with a color scheme. And then if you flip over the card, it has like, it's numbered with this nice shiny foiling, and it has lists of potential paints as well as the like hex code for it. The hex code means nothing to me, but I suppose you could type it into Google and see what it is or whatever. But then there's like example paints that are close on all of these, and so on and so forth. You can see lots of cool things. So at any rate, I decided to give them a try, put them to use. And so I painted this little girl from Paradise right here. Painted her up for a video, which will come out in a while. Yeah, she was a lot of fun. And I used like this color scheme here. So everything from her was painted with this color scheme. It's amazing what you can do with only 5 colors. You really don't need more. You can get there. So I worked on that. And then as well, I'm finishing the last Giselle from a unit of Giselles. So this will be that unit of Giselles, that 6-pack finished. So they've just got a little bit more to do, but they're coming right along. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, hobbying out. And then once I get this done, I'm thinking it's time for a big project. Nova's got me juiced up looking at all those amazing pieces of art. So I got to pick something and go to town. But at any rate, that's what I've been working on. So it's just been hobby central. My wife's away this week, so it's just been me painting and working on videos. So nice. There you go. Let's see. Kaz says, before we get into the book, is it kind of weird that we got 3 of 4 death books in the first year of the edition? I mean, sort of. No, they have no logical sense to how they do this. Like I don't. I'm sure like it has to do partially with what they decide they're releasing model lines for and how that production works, and you know what's just a book with one model and stuff like that. Okay. So my point being is it's not like they sit down and get to direct. They're like, well, we've got to, parse these out evenly or something like that. They're not thinking like that. Okay. Paul, are you ready to talk about the Nighthaunt?
I am prepared. And you know what? For many people, we're also in the official beginning of spooky season for the people that are all about Halloween.
Yes.
So perfect timing.
It really is. This is a bit early for me to start thinking about Halloween. I don't really care about Halloween that much. A lot of people really like it. That's fine. Like what you like. I'm not here to crap on your Cheerios or whatever. I just don't particularly care. I don't have kids. I put candy out in a basket. I say take the candy. Kids take the candy. There you go. That's pretty much how I celebrate Halloween, and about as much as I think about it. But to each their own. As we transition into here, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and super chat like Hades Death God just did. Hades with the super chat saying, how much for Vince to speed paint an LRL army? It would take a big contribution, Hades, partially because I don't own that army, so I need to like get that army. And then secondly, I would need to then speed paint it, which seems like a true nightmare. A true nightmare. I am thinking about doing it with the Hashut people, though. I've never painted a Dwarven army ever. And John said they're pretty easy to paint. So if I can find a scheme I like, I'll see. Okay. All right. So yeah, hit up, comment, super chat, do all those things. Support the show. Okay. Don't forget to hit up the links by the way, for Fireball, the Gazebo, and Snarlcast. John and I's RPG podcast down there if you want to talk about that. I've got a D&D book literally right next to me right now because I'm working on a character. And also, of course, Uncle Adam and I's Indie RPG podcast. Synthwave Hellsmiths. Now we're talking. Absolutely. Okay. Mortarch of Delusion. That's right. Prepare to roll dice. Paul, did you see that show at the end? Like, this is at the end of the
Yes.
FEC book. Start rolling dice. With that, let's get into the Nighthaunt review. I forgot to actually that's how I'm going to shout this from now on. Whoops, wrong button. Sorry, everybody. That button. There we go. All right. Yes. Start rolling dice. My God. Okay. Let's talk about Nighthaunt. Well, this is an army that's changed just a little bit. Okay. Just a little.
Of course, nobody is upset about it at all.
Everybody's been super chill, very excited about what this portends. No problem at all. Okay. So, it's fine. We're all just going to relax. We're going to be cool. Everybody be cool. Let's be cool. All right. What's Fonzie like, Paul?
Cool.
That's right. We're all going to be little Fonzies. Okay, so let's get to the summary first. Nighthaunt feels the same at the high level. This is my statement. So stay with me, people who are immediately going to rebel against this. Like, what I mean by that is, if you're just reading along and not paying, like, if you just kind of glance at the book, you're like, yeah, it's the same stuff. They're ghosts. They're ethereal. They like to multi-charge. They've got a lot of like debuffs and stuff like that, right? If you just kind of skim the book, that's the impression you would get. That it's like, yeah, it's the same army, right? Nothing changed. See a lot of the same abilities scattered around, if you just read kind of here or there. And but at the same time, this army has changed dramatically, like actually changed.
Yeah.
I've switched those around, but it doesn't matter. Its saves are basically now either like 5+ or 6+ on all the core infantry down the line. They still can't be modified, but they're all like t-shirt saves. They all have 5+ wards now instead of 6+. But they also mostly have 2 wounds as well. Or 2 health, I guess, sorry. So it's led to a really weird situation because they didn't like double in points. They all kind of moved up, but not some amount. So like there's less on the board, but it's more health on the board. Maybe it's probably more effective health per unit, but maybe not per point. It's complicated. Well, you'll see. Okay. So like my point is this army changed a lot. That's the take home. Okay. Now I'll say it still relies on debuffs and bringing the enemy down to their level. They still have a bunch of really good debuffs and units that want to cause debuffs. they still are synergistic army. They still like, there's like lots of little power pairs that want to work together. That's still true. And it's still a very mobile army with a lot of interesting movement tricks. But a lot of that stuff has also been reduced at the same time. Like, again, it's still there, but it's been like lessened, I guess is what I would say. You don't have the same debuffs at your disposal. You don't cause them in the same ways. So it's strange. This is a very big rewrite. And it's very hard for me to interpret exactly where it's going to land. Like when I read the Nighthaunt Index on launch, I was like, well, this is cooked. Right? When I read this, I was like, I don't know what to think about this. I'm going to need to see it play. Because diluted is an interesting word there, Tacticat. I'm not sure I disagree with that. They do definitely have a damage challenge, depending on what's going on. You probably have less models on the table, so you probably have like less attacks overall. You probably eke out a bit more health. It's good that there's less spam. I don't know. We'll just have to go through it. We'll see how we think. But Paul, what do you think about that at high level? Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, I think the infantry mostly going to 2 health and with a 5-up ward is going to make a lot of these units very tanky compared to what they used to be. And just being able to be very mobile with that, there's going to be some units I think that you can really use as strong anvils, especially with like the enemy debuffs. And the other thing to note here too is that we'll get it on the next slide, but the
Sure.
ethereal only stops negative modifiers now, so you can actually all out defense. So
that's true. You
that's
can
good.
all out defense now, yes. I mean, not that all out defense is very good, but you can do it. So that's
Yes.
cool. I mean, you're still only going to like a 5-up save, and half the hammers in the game, would just effectively shear through that. But they obviously can't reduce your save, so you can go to the 5-up, 5-up. On the flip side, you also have a lot more ward removal in the current world, right? If you've played against KO and stuff like that, you know that they can peel your wards pretty easily. So yeah. Like I hated the old style of Nighthaunt. Like I really, really, really hated the 4-up coin flip thing. It was really terrible. So this is better conceptually, but I don't know if we're going to be there in execution. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to points, right? But if you look at something like Bladegeist Revenants, okay? So Bladegeist Revenants were like 180 points for 10 or something previously, right? And that had like 22 effective health, basically, assuming sort of, all things normal and you're not using dissipation or whatever. Whereas now that same unit has 32 effective health at 210 points. So like just health to point ratio, that is better, right? Like you got a lot more health for not much of a points increase. But I'm still not sure if that's actually enough. This army's always had a damage challenge. It's always been a pretty grindy army. So, but we'll see. And yes, that is a good point, gentlemen. He said, I got absolutely dumpstered by a Sog Carnosaur with that +1 to damage. Like high damage, low number of attacks scare the heck out of me now. Yeah, that's fair. Right? Like your save isn't stopping it, so you're just going straight through to ward. So things that hit for like 4 or 5 damage just stand a lot of chance of like having big impacts on your units. So, okay. All right, let's look at the rules before we get ahead of it. So let's start with the battle traits, right? We got to begin there. All right, so. All right, battle traits. Start with the faction rules. They're still ethereal. It does what it does. Everybody except Nagash ignores negative modifiers to save rules. Not positive, as you mentioned. They can now all out defense. Once per turn, army, your movement phase, you can spend a command point to teleport somebody if they're not in combat. Okay. I guess. It's fine. Right. Like, it's not an amazing ability, but a teleport's not bad. It is automatic, so that's cool. But it does cost a CP, which is, like, not great. So call it, like, okay. Yeah, the scripter art is amazing. I agree. Mounting Dread. Subtract the current battle round number from the control scores of enemy units while they are in combat with any friendly Nighthaunt units. So right away, you know, someone a few comments back, Cody said, after playing a few games, it feels like Death finally got their own Sons of Behemoth-style army. Mucho health that is getting on those circles. Yes, and I also agree, because they're also playing the objective game. Right? Like, they can pack a lot of health into a circle and then sap your control away. Right? So, okay. In general, I don't love control score abilities. I generally think they're, like, whatever. But sure. And then your last battle trait is just you can set up your other two faction terrain things.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, nice little narrative kind of thing going with the Mounting Dread, that they just kind of get more spooky as the game goes on.
Sure. Absolutely. I always think abilities like this are really funny because it's like, I get it. I get the abstraction of the game. You know, you have to have rules like this. But some small part of me does miss kind of older edition Warhammer where we were trying to lock in a little more, like, quote unquote realism, whatever that means. Where, like, an ability like this wouldn't have worked on other undead. Right?
Yeah.
But sure, it's fine. Whatever. Okay. That's cool. All right. That does not feel like a lot of battle traits. Well, it's basically 3. I refuse to count that I get to set up my faction terrain as a battle trait. There are 3 abilities here, which I think probably puts them on par. I would remind you that Slaanesh has 1, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So,
the other things to note in here too, the kind of hidden battle traits that are not on the paper, like army-wide 5-up ward, army-wide crit auto wound.
Sure. That's absolutely true. Just function of the actual function of being ghosts, as it were, and how they've defined that now. Yep. Yes. And so, like, you know, yeah, I mean, I'm sure what a lot of people got to like the little wave of terror stuff where you could, like, charge in and cause some debuff, and that's all gone, right? But again, I don't think about what was, I only think about what is, right? Because it doesn't matter if they remove abilities, as long as what the new picture works. So it's just a question. Does the new stuff work? All right. So let's talk about our battle formations. We still got 4 of them. Quicksilver Geists. Here's the thing you can do in your movement phase that you use if they're in combat. You get to roll a die, add their move to it. They move, they can pass through models, and that move in combat. Okay, neat. So if you've got a unit that's there, I love that it's called Vanish and Reappear, but it's actually just a move. It's like, I guess, I assume they're supposed to be like going underground and then popping back up. That's kind of what it's, I assume actually happening there. But okay, that's fine. It's a good ability, obviously.
Yep.
But, you know, it's what it is. Now I will say it's not free. As was pointed out by Michael B. Yes, absolutely. Like, this is also a weird one because they launched with stuff costing points. Okay. So, like, Quicksilver Geists costs 40 points. That's not cheap. It's a good trick in your movement phase. But, like, man, 40 points is not nothing. Okay.
And it's also keyworded with core and move, so I believe that means
your normal stuff.
Yeah, you can't do a normal move after it. So
Correct.
it's basically a retreat plus a run. And
Yeah,
you
that lets you
don't,
end in combat, which is cool.
yeah, and you don't take the mortal damage for retreating.
Right, exactly. Just some dude with the super chat. Hey, thank you, just some dude. Tad bit off topic, but with Chaos Dwarfs coming out September 14th, what type of playstyle do you want to see from them, and what type of players do you think should appeal to the army? Johnny Timmy Spike. I am not sure, honestly. I don't know. Is my honest answer. If you're asking me what do I want to see from them, I would, like most books, I'd want to see a mix, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Finally, or not finally, sorry. Next up, Deathstalkers. In addition to being an excellent line of very uneven movies from the 80s, Deathstalker also remains kind of doing the same thing as what it was modified to do originally, which is once per turn army or movement phase, you can pick a friendly Nighthaunt unit to be the target. So you get to pick one unit. And for the rest of the turn, it can charge and shoot even if it retreated. You don't take any damage for retreating. Okay. Cool. It's good ability. It's powerful. It's weird that both of those are kind of doing a very similar thing, right?
Yeah. It almost feels like that could have just been one pretty easily.
Yeah, like they're very similar. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're going to use them a lot of the time almost identically. Right? But okay. That's fine. I mean, it's exception, it's not 40 points. It's like the Deathstalkers is 0 points, so I don't know. That seems pretty good. I mean, obviously the downside is you're inviting yourself to a couple rolls, right? Like you still have to actually, you only get your normal move out on the retreat. You do get a charge. You're effectively ending up with like dice plus a move when you're all done, but you didn't have to land the charge and they could redeploy away. Like stuff could go wrong, but it's, I mean, 0 to 40 points. I don't know. Okay. Shrieker Host. By the way, all the rest of these don't cost any points, just for clarity. Shrieker Host is in the enemy hero phase. You get to pick a friendly Nighthaunt hero to be the target. For the rest of the turn, enemy units cannot use retreat abilities while they're in combat with the target. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Cool. And then Royal Procession, Lethal Rancor. That's the thing from Star Wars. Pick up to 2 friendly Nighthaunt units to be the targets. The target's melee weapons have anti-charge plus 1 rend for the rest of the turn. Well, that'll solve it.
Yeah.
What damage problem? We've got anti-charge plus 1 rend. We're good. We're good, homie.
Yeah. Just fine.
I don't like the way this runs out because I think like 80% of the time I would just take Deathstalkers and 20% of the time I would take Shrieker Host with some weird sideways build. And that's it.
Yep. Right there with you.
Yep. Yeah, correct, Gellerman. Like that's the, yes, that would be the build. Like I do think Shrieker Host has play. I just don't think it's like your standard army. I think you're building toward it with like a weird sideways build, probably with Lady O, Bodyguarder, that kind of thing. She's just not going to move much. She can actually like sit there and hold a lot of things in combat. So, okay. Let's talk heroic traits. We got 3 of them. I'll summarize this. They're fine. I like one better than the others. So, you've got Ruler of the Spectral Hosts, which is your, I get to do the undead thing and like heal my models, or if they're not damaged, I can put like a guy back or 3 chain rasps. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So, like, because most of your models are 2 health now, right? Except for Chain Rasps, who are still 1. You can't pick heroes. You know what I mean? You can't heal your actual people you want to heal who have lots of wounds. So either you're picking a unit that's damaged and healing 1 wound often. There are a couple, obviously there are exceptions. Or you're picking a unit that's not damaged and putting back 1 guy on a 3-up.
Yep.
Neat.
Yeah.
What a cool heroic trait that is. Yeah. I don't know about you, Paul. I feel a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah, that is underwhelming, although it's, I don't know, probably quite possibly the one I'd want to take personally for like how I would like to play it, but
Now I will point out this Ruler of the Spectral Hosts, which I think is like average at best. I mean, you do get to pick 3 units, so that's fine. And there is some uses for it. Like, again, in that sideways build, if you have your bodyguards, you can they will have more wounds. So healing 3 on them is useful. But this is 20 points. It actually costs points.
Oh, yuck.
Okay. Then we got Deathly Possessor, which I like. But it's really hard to use. Classically, almost impossible to use. But it's fun. You get to pick an enemy hero in combat with this unit to be the target, then pick another enemy unit within the target's combat range to be the victim. You roll a die on a 3-up, pick one of the target's melee weapons, and resolve combat attacks for the target with that weapon against the victim. So I love things that make you attack yourself, basically. It can't actually make you attack yourself, but it can make you attack your own army. But the hoops you've got to jump through for this, like you read it and it sounds really fun. And it does, because making while you hitting yourself is a fun game to play. But my God, what is this? Okay, so my hero that has this has to get in combat with another hero who is also within combat range of another unit, and then I have to roll a 3-up. Okay.
Yeah, that's some hoops of fire.
So that is it's fun. It will look, this is a real Timmy trap item. Like the game it happens where exactly like who Gellerman said I had a Sog Carnosaur kill 3 Agrodons when he was buffed up. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have that kind of thing happen, and you're gonna be like, this is the greatest ability in the world, right? And then a lot of times you're just gonna get like run into combat with like a Master Molder, and he's gonna be like, and he's going to hit with stick and do no damage.
Yep.
That's the sort of modal outcome of this ability. If you could even manage to pull off the get into combat and have another unit and thing. Then we get to, I think, the one that's actually pretty decent. Again, as far as defense goes, it leads more into the Sons of Badmot playstyle, which is the reaction you declare the redeploy command for a friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 of this unit. For the rest of the turn, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit. So, that's good. I like that. Like, -1 to hit. It's good. So, neat. If you've got a unit way out there in front, it's obvious that the enemy has to go get into them. It just makes it harder to kill them. So, it's cool. Yeah. And redeploy is usually a good thing anyways. Yeah. You know, it's fine. Okay. Now, let's talk artifacts. As usual, we have 3 of these as well. Well, we've got another redeploy thing. Paul, are you excited? Are you excited to build your redeploy Nighthaunt army?
Absolutely.
That's for sure. I mean, I'm playing a redeploy Skaven army right now, and I'll say it is pretty fun. It is pretty fun. But I get to redeploy like 3 units and stuff, so that's cool. Okay, this one is the classic. You redeploy, it's a minimum of 4. That's it. Okay, cool. It's good. Let's see. So that's number 1. Then we have the one that costs points, the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon. This thing costs 20 points, and it's a once per battle thing. It's not bad. It's +1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons for all your Nighthaunt wholly within 12. So it's a once per game big +1 attack bubble. Okay. Like, why does it cost 20 points? It could just be. It's already once per battle. That's the cost.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Skaven have that, and it's free. Oh, it's only 1 unit.
Yeah. Is that true? You declared the redeploy command for a friendly. Hold on, I'm going back to Shadowy Aura. You declared the redeploy command for a friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 of this unit for the rest of the turn. Oh my god, you're right. Never mind. I'm sorry. I misread that, Eduardo. I now hate this ability. It's not for the unit. I thought it was like you redeploy the unit and they like fall back into shadow, which made sense to me, right? As to why they got -1 hit. No, it's the hero.
Yep. Trash.
Official trash. I'm sorry, everyone. I misread it and thought it had some use. How foolish of me. Okay, at any rate, like, terrible. Terrible that this costs points. If it's once per battle, that's the cost. That is called opportunity cost. You're taking something you can only use once per game and you have to use it at the right time. Don't make those cost points. All right, fine. And then the last one is the another reaction. And it's also dumb because you have to pick enemy wizards and priests while you're within 12 inches of them. And like you roll the bad D3 and on a 2-up, you get to minus their chanting. And if they fail to cast, they take a minimal amount of damage. So you have to be danger close to their casters. And then you can sometimes affect them on a 3-up with a minimal penalty.
Yep. So, first one, pretty much all the time, I think.
I mean, rough, son. I'm probably paying the 20 points. They got me over a barrel here.
Yeah. Yep. It's between those two, and I don't know. I think I would rather go with guaranteed redeploys.
I don't mind. I take, there's a couple of armies where I use the guaranteed minimum for redeploy. It is very powerful, right?
Yep.
Just being able to guarantee that you move like a 3-inch charge to a 7 is mathematically quite impactful. So, yeah, I don't hate it. That's fine. All right, great. Next, spells. So you got your unlimited spell, which is weird in the way it works. But basically, you cast it on a Nighthaunt unit within 12. And then if that unit, until the start of your next turn, if that unit uses a fight ability, if all their attacks target the same enemy unit, after all their attacks are resolved, then they get -1 to save for the rest of the turn. So, we got a multi-fight. Right? That's what this is saying. Okay. Okay. That feels like a pretty, yeah, that feels like a pretty piss poor, I'm going to be honest, like a pretty piss poor unlimited spell.
Yeah. I don't know why they're doing that.
So like, let's imagine the world where this is what, so what am I doing here? I'm putting this, it's an unlimited spell. So I cast it, let's say twice. Okay. And I'm going to put it on the hero that pulls things into combat and the unit that fights after them. Right? Yeah? Because you've got like, you have the units that pull other people into combat, Night of Shrouds and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put it on both them and their buddy. And then what I'll do is I'll fight them with like, the hero goes in, he fights. He pulls the other unit in. Hopefully at this point I've done enough damage because the unit then benefited from the -1 to save. And then I also charged with like some Hex Wraith or something. That the opponent is like pretty disinclined to attack with whatever they've got left, but they probably will, but they probably won't do that much, hopefully. And then I get to fight with my like Hex Wraiths or whatever with like a -2 or something. Rend effectively. Right? I do not understand why this is the unlimited spell. it feels like this is exactly the kind of thing you would cast once. You're going to put it on the heroes that pull people into combat and call it a day. Right?
Yeah. I can't see a situation where it's even reasonable to get that off. Like, actually get benefit from that effect more than once a turn.
Right. Like, it's so wild. How often are you in a position where you can trip charge a unit?
Yeah. You have to jump through hoops of fire to do it once. Like,
right.
To have it set up on the table so that you can do it multiple times is
maybe they're anticipating you're just using lots of Knights of Shrouds and their little friends. Just like lots of that stuff is going on. I don't know. It's not good. Wrench Souls, which is a very good spell. It's a spell that lets you pick a non-hero Nighthaunt infantry unit. It's only infantry, but still good. That's like most of your stuff you care about. You make them, then you immediately make them normal move or retreat as if it were your movement phase. Okay. This is a very good ability. It's a very good spell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good spell. If that had been the unlimited spell, that would have been pretty amazing. Honestly, I would have loved just moving that to a 7 and making it the unlimited spell.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. And then you have your Chains of Death, which is on a 7, which is your standard 18-inch range enemy target, gives them strike last. Okay. Again, fine.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Sure. It's got an 18-inch range, so that's fine.
Yep.
So the two non-unlimited spells are both good and useful. Like, having a strike last in your pocket is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of use out of Warp Gale in my Skaven. It's a very similar spell. Does basically the same thing. And I use it a lot. So okay. Warscrolls. Shall we talk about the Warscrolls? All right. So look, we're coming out of part 1 here, Paul. It's not looking great, right?
Nope, it is not.
It's rough. It's rough in them streets. Okay. But that's all right. We can turn it around. Admittedly, the overarching army stuff kind of underwhelming. But that's okay. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Holy crap. I need to read these things better. I'm sorry. The Chains of Death, I take it back, Paul. I did not realize it's only enemy heroes you can make strike last.
Oh. Lame.
I completely missed that. Thank you, Gellerman. I appreciate that. I just read it assuming it would be a normal spell because so many people have this spell. How foolish of me. All right, well, even rougher then. We got one good spell. We got 1 out of 3. So on heroic traits, we're at like half out of 3. On artifacts, we're at half out of 3. And on spells, we're at 1 out of 3. Not a great ratio so far. We're going back to the minor leagues. Okay.
Yeah. Those are not good numbers for us.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about Warscrolls. Okay. Lady O, the Mortarch of Grief. Let me bring my points up here on my other screen so we can reference that again. Okay. Lady O, 300 points. Didn't change. Where she's at. 8-inch move, 7 health, blah, blah. She's the Mortarch of Grief. If the unmodified hit roll or unmodified wound roll for an attack that targets this unit is 1 to 4, the attack fails and the attack sequence ends. So she can only be hit and only be wounded on a 5-up.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. As someone who's watched 13 Deathmasters go run around the board, who can only be hit on 5-up, they don't have the wound part. It's amazing how much it can make that miss. So good ability. She is quite. She's only on a 5-up, but again, we can bodyguard her as we'll talk about later on. So we can improve that. And if she's like only on a 5-up and only on a 5-up and then 5-up and 4-up, yeah, it's pretty solid. She's hard to move. Even at only 7 health. She has attacks. They exist. That's nice for her.
Sure do.
She still has her big like everybody gets to return models once a game thing, which is a good ability because it's just health characteristic of D3+3. It's not models D3+3, just health. So everybody's enhanced health means you're getting less models back, but still, at least it's something.
Yeah.
And it's every unit on the board, so okay. And then she has her Grief Stricken, which is her spell that it makes units. In this case, she can pick any unit, which is nice. And they ignore positive modifiers to their target's control score, hit rolls, wound rolls, and save rolls for the rest of the turn. She's 300 points cool. 300 even. So, that's her. I honestly think you only take her in the kind of sideways build I was talking about, where you're actually using her to pretty aggressively tank with a body card. Right?
Yep.
Like you kind of build around her. There is a list with her, but you don't just like throw her in. But you can build around her, and she can actually be a pretty good part of your list.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Kurdos, the Craven King. Also 8-inch move, 7 health, 5 up, 5 up, blah blah blah. Just basically at this point, assume it's 5 up, 5 up when we're going through the heroes. That's the story, folks. I'm just that way I don't have to read all these numbers. Okay. He has a pretty good attack profile. It's not bad. It's like an enhanced old Stormcast, which is cool.
Yep.
He's got his Hail Kurdos, King of Nothing. Where in your charge phase, if he charged, you can pick a Craven Throne Guard unit that's non-combat to be the target. The target can immediately use a shoot ability as if it were your shooting phase, but all of its attacks must target an enemy unit in combat with this unit. The target cannot use charge abilities for the rest of the turn. So the point being is that when he charges in, you can make your Craven Guard shoot, theoretically, for a second time that turn.
Also, importantly, isn't King Nothing a Metallica song?
Yeah, it's a later career Metallica song, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That is true. Probably not great. Probably not great. If that's what you're referencing, I think he's kind of in the same boat here, honestly. Okay. We'll have to look at the crossbows later on to decide if that abilities were any good. But, it's neat. Conceptually. And then, once return reaction, opponent declared a command for unit within 12. If I cannot rule, none shall rule. Roll a die on a 3-up. Unless your opponent spends 1 additional command point to use that command, the command has no effect. It still counts as having been used. The command point is spent to use the command is still lost. So, on a 3-up, he can make somebody potentially spend an extra command point for somebody who's pretty close to him. Okay.
Which is not great when he's kind of fragile.
Yeah, he has only 190 points, so I suppose that's in his favor. He's actually not that expensive. But he is pretty super duper fragile, if not, like, guarded and stuff. Jaunty Scarecrow said, I'm sensing a lot of Saint anger here. Nice. King of Nothing is also a Warlock in War Machine. Oh, neat. I got a little War Machine model this weekend at Nova. I'm going to paint him up for a video at some point because he was a neat little model. All right, Arlak, or Alrak? Alrock. This guy, Boatman. Boaty McBoatface. Okay? We know who we're talking about. He's got an oar, not a great weapon. That's fine. He moves 10, though, because, he can sail. He can come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. So that's cool. He has his once per battle, your movement phase. Huh. Once per battle, huh? Okay. If this unit is not in combat, pick a friendly non-hero Nighthaunt unit that is not in combat and is wholly within 12 of them to be the target. Remove this unit and the target from the battlefield, then set them up again on the battlefield wholly within 6 inches of each other and more than 7 from all enemy units. So he has a nice close-ish teleport. He can move a unit once a game.
Mhm.
Okay. As long as no one's in combat. Somebody mentioned at the beginning that there's like a real possibility here for sort of an alpha bunker type of army, you know, and this guy kind of helps lead to that strategy, honestly.
Yeah.
And then at the end of any turn, you can roll a die, and on a 3-up, he can immediately use the normal move or the retreat ability as if it were your movement phase, which is a legitimately good ability. Like, no shade.
It's definitely.
That's actually a really generically good ability. The fact that at the end of both turns, he gets to try to run around and sail. It's only on a 3-up, but still, it's pretty good. The fact that he can do it in the end. Any movement that's possible in the enemy turn is really good, right?
Yeah.
170 points. Okay. All right. I mean, all your heroes are very fragile now, is what it comes down to.
Right.
All right, Reikenor, we're grim hailing. That's generally how I feel anytime I'm hailing a cab in New York. It's grim. I'm just kidding. We don't hail cabs anymore, obviously. All right. 12-inch move and 7 health, blah, blah, blah. They're all like that. Reikenor, again, he has some attacks. They're fine. None of these are anything like incredible. But he has other abilities. He's got his Wraith Storm. It's a spell. Inflict D3 mortal damage on the target. If any models are slain, inflict a further D3 mortal damage on the target. Okay. It's like
Interesting.
fine.
Yeah.
Probably not a 7. That spell is probably a 6. But
Yeah.
sure. But we've got his corpse candles. Corpse candles were always the best thing about him, right? Okay. So corpse candles. Pick either this unit or a visible enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit to be the target. Okay, cool. So just like it used to work. I'm still on board. I'm still reading. You got me, book. Effect. If you picked this unit, allocate 1 damage point to this unit and add 1 to casting rolls for the rest of the turn. Ward rolls cannot be made for that damage point. If you picked an enemy unit, roll a dice. On a 3-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on that enemy unit, and for the rest of the turn, add 1 to casting rolls and add 1 to his power level. Which is a change around. But, okay. Like, I always thought it was weird that this is how it probably should have worked, honestly. Yeah. I do not love that it's on a 3-up when you pick an enemy unit.
Right.
So you have the safe bet of damaging yourself, or you use the ability and nothing happens 33% of the time.
Yeah.
I would like it a lot more if it was like they take a mortal damage and you get +1 casting on the enemy unit, and then you roll the 3-up, and on a 3-up you get the extra power level as well or something. Right?
66% of the time it works every time.
You may notice there's a theme here. I probably should have put that in my summary, by the by. Like, it's very true. This is like 3-up the Battletome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, look at how many times we've said that already.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that's not going to stop anytime soon, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay. This whole book, it is wild how many like 3-ups or effectively 3-ups, because it'll be like 2-up on a D3 you have. It's constant. And then again, as always, he's better at killing wizards and priests like he always was. Okay. Fine. Reiknor's 240 points. No way. No freaking way.
Yeah, hard pass.
Okay. I like no. Nope. That is so many points in this book. Okay. Scriptor Mortis. This guy. Oh, this guy. Obviously,
he sure does have stats.
He sure does have stats. He can still stab you with his pen, which I appreciate. That's his only attack. I love, like, you're a ghost. Can't you do, like, spectral claws or something? Nope. Nope. Pointy pen only. Okay. Once per turn, army, your hero phase. Sentenced to eternal torment. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches to beat the target. Roll a die on a 3-up. Inflict 1 mortal damage to the target, and the target has the sentenced keyword until the start of your next turn. Oh, we've given them a new keyword. Okay. Then we've got Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Each time a friendly Nighthaunt infantry unit uses a fight ability, if all of its attacks target the same sentenced enemy unit, that friendly unit's melee weapons have crit mortal for that fight ability. All right. I mean, crit mortal's good. Crit mortal's really good. All you got to do to get this off is make sure this guy is within 18 inches of the unit you want to fight. Roll a die, get it on a 3-up, then effectively charge that unit you just put this effect on. Easy
So
money.
you're just going to start rolling dice.
Now, I make that joke to say, then start rolling dice. Now, I make that joke, but like legitimately, this is one of the best heroes in the book.
Yeah, he really is.
Even with this crappy 3-up hoop jumping, turning on crit mortals is such a game changer for this army in your damage output. And they know what they did. Okay, please don't drink every time I say on a 3-up. In this book, you will die. You will die. Now, this guy used to be like crazy cheap, if you remember, Paul, because like nobody took him. He was so bad, right?
Yeah.
And when I first read this guy's rules before I looked at the points, because I read the book before I looked at any of the points, right? I read this and I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. If this dude's still cheap, I'm pretty in. And then he's 120 points.
Oh,
and I was like, come on. Up 40 points? He increased literal 50%.
Still cheapest chips. Then.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, I suppose. He is like basically one of your cheapest heroes. Like he's tied for your cheapest hero, other than the Knight of Shrouds, I suppose. It's like 320 point heroes. So, and then the Knight of Shrouds is only 100, so okay. He's not a wizard. I don't know why he couldn't just be a wizard, but sure. Anyways, Scriptor Mortis. He's pretty good. Crit Mortal is good. Okay. Lord Vitriolic. This is the new guy. He's got bottles and stuff. So that's cool. He's got extra arms, Paul. He's got extra arms to manipulate all his bottles. Isn't that exciting? Or are you excited?
I'm wondering what's in the bottle.
Juice. Different kinds of juice. He's a big juicer guy. He's on a cleanse. I don't mean like gross juice. I mean just like fruit juices. Just healthy stuff, you know. You gotta keep up them B12, B5, stuff like that. Just all the stuff you want. All right.
B12 is important.
It is. It really is. Yeah. 100%. Look, man, I'm just saying, my B6, my sparkling ice, the black raspberry saturated with B12. I come away from Nova, no con crud on me. What do? I get to sleep. I wash my hands a lot. I drink tons of sparkling ice. I'm rolling hard on the B12 all weekend. I'm just saying. Can't catch me. Can't catch me, sickies. Delicious vitamins. Just like Lord Vitriolic, the juice cleanser. All right. It's 5 health, 5 up, 5 up, blah, 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 blah. What's his whole thing? He has attacks. They don't matter. Like, they just do not matter. His attacks. He throw a bottle at you, yes. Like, you read this guy's attacks and they beg you to stop reading them.
Yeah.
They're like, don't bother. There's nothing here. Just keep going. This could just be ipsum lorem text. They could use imaginary numbers. It would be as interesting. His damage could be the square root of -1. It would be just as appealing to me. Okay. All right. But he's got this spectral alchemy. Once per turn, army, your shooting phase. I like the timing. It's good. because that means he can move first. So the fact that I have to pick an enemy within 10 inches isn't that bad, because I do get to fly around first. So, all right. Then, Paul, what's that effect? Well, Paul, you're going to start by rolling a dice.
Everybody
on a
drink.
3 up. Yes. Yeah, that is true, Gelman. They have a lot of once per turn army. That is true. They're expecting you to go wide. I don't mind that stuff very much, honestly. I kind of like them wanting you to go wide. I don't like spammy heroes. So that's cool. It is not decent, Jaunty. It is not. It's 1 attack. 1 attack on a ranged attack is never good. Period. 3 up, you will fail that. It's going to be like hit, failed to wound. Failed to hit. Hit, wound, they made their save. Like, that is what happens every time. 1 ranged attack is nothing. It's nothing. Okay. On a 3 up, pick one of the following effects, or roll 2 dice and apply both corresponding effects in an order of your choice, including duplicate effects. I do love that they give you this choice. This is fun. They should do that more often, where they're like, you can either pick and get whatever you want, or you can roll, but you get twice as much. That's fun. All right. Phantasmal Solvent. If the target has move characteristic of, meaning it's a manifestation with no move, or terrain, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. 6 mortal damage. All right, cool. Acidic Fog, just straight D3 mortal damage. Fling Concoctions, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's hurled vial this phase, but all attacks made by this unit this phase must target that enemy unit. Hilarious. I could make more of my bad ranged attack. Choking Vapors. If the target is a wizard, subtract 1 from its power level until the start of your next turn. Fear-Laced Hallucinogen. If the target is a priest, remove D3 ritual points. Unholy Prescription. Ward rolls cannot be made for the target for the rest of the turn. So here's the trick with this. I started by saying I really love the roll 1 or pick 2 thing. Okay. But if you're going to make that mechanic work, all 6 of the abilities have to be like roughly interesting in some way. Yep. These are so silver bullety and specific that you would never roll the pick 2, because you're going to like hit a unit and do the thing that you need to do to that unit, because most of the other abilities are almost completely pointless to that unit. So like, even if I happen to roll the one I wanted, the chances of rolling a second one that is actually valuable is near 0. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is just like, they had a really good idea and then the execution was terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
And how many points is this guy?
Lord Vitriolic is 120 points.
Yep. I don't think you're going to see him on the table much.
He is a bonus hero, but he is not a wizard. No, I agree. I think this guy's pretty dumb. Now, I will say, the Choking Vapors thing is super cool because it is -1 power level with no minimum, so you can reduce someone's power level to 0. But you got to get like so close to their wizard to make that happen. And like, people don't just roll their wizards right up into combat unless it's like an absolute butt kicker that doesn't care. Like, oh no, you took away my power level. I am a monster. I will kill you. Right? It's like a vampire lord on zombie dragon or something, or on whatever the new thing is called. Okay. Oh no, not my power level. Now I'm going to explode you. All right. Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, and the Knight of Shrouds on foot. Both basically have the same attack profile, other than the, one has a pony, obviously. Okay. The Knight of Shrouds on foot, 100 points, down 20. Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, still 170. Both of them have the same rough ability, like why you're taking them. They both have a thing that when they fight, after it's resolved, you heal X them, where X is the number of damage that they allocated, right? Okay. So they can self-heal to some degree, which is fine. But they both are the standard heroes that pull you in, but they do bring bonuses with them, which is cool. So, and like the Knight of Shrouds wants to pull in cavalry or war machines, read black coaches.
Yep.
Right. And it gives that, and he gives them +1 to hit. Whereas the Knight of Shrouds on foot is pulling in infantry units, obviously, and he, same thing, he gives them +1 to hit. Look, the bright side with both of these guys, you know what text does not appear?
3+?
3+. It's not here. I mean, it's there in their wound rules, but you know what I mean. It's not in their abilities, so that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, and with the change to all-out attack, these kinds of abilities are much more valuable than they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I love things that are +1 to hit now because all-out attack is so basically unusable unless you're just ready for the unit to die. Now, obviously, in their case, they do still get to use all, like Nighthaunt case. I mean, they do still get to use all-out attack for free, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't suffer the -1. But that being said, I'm still a big fan of anything that says +1 to hit, especially since there's plenty of like 4-ups to hit in this army. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I still don't know if like they're worth it. The Knight of Shrouds on Steed seems like way overcosted to me at 170, like crazy overcosted. Sure. But whatever. I mean, I guess like we said earlier, they make good use of the endless spell, so that's fine. It's cool, I guess. And still the heroes continue. My God. Okay. Guardian of Souls. He also has attacks. Congratulations to him. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But it doesn't matter. He has his Nightmare Lantern. I'm not going to talk about attacks unless they're anything special. And by the way, they never are in this army. Yep. Like on the heroes. Okay. What does the Guardian of Souls do, Paul? Well, once per turn army, any combat phase, pick a visible friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 to be the target effect. Roll a dice. On a 3+, add 1 to wound rolls for the target's attacks for the rest of the turn. He is a wizard. That's cool.
Yeah. That feels like that's actually a reasonable ability to have on a 3+.
Sure. It's fine. Absolutely. I'm okay with it. It's more just like another needle, you know, that there's like poking into you. Like, it's the 3-up acupuncture this book performs. But yes, I think it's fine. Yeah. Guardian of Souls still 150. Okay. Sure. I mean, he's a wizard, I guess. So that's nice. But it is worse than what it was before. But like,
yeah.
I also question the value of +1 to wound in an army with crit auto wound, but I guess wounding on a 2-up is never that bad, or that's what it'll often be, but nonetheless. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. The Deception said the army dropped 2 heroes and they still have 4 or 5 too many heroes. Yes, I agree. 150 feels expensive. Like, this guy should be like 120, 130. That's probably correct. Anyways, Cruel Gas Cruciator. Same thing. He's the guy with the little thingy on his back. He, yet again, has attacks. Congratulations to him. Empowered through excruciation. What a fun word that is to say, right? Effect. Ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to each friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit in each phase. 140 points for that.
That's pretty solid.
Is it?
I don't know. I like that. Those ignore the first point of damage things are always, I don't know. They always feel like they're annoyingly effective.
Here's the thing. Let me steelman this and then go the other direction. Okay. So let me steelman the value of this. One of the things your army does not like, I suppose, is lots of like mortal damage and chippy chip damage coming in and around, because it blows through your, like, it just can really weaken you down now that you have less bodies on the table. Okay.
Mhm.
So, like, the fact that it's in every phase, right, does stop them from, like, getting spells and then shot and then a little bit in damage. And then if there's, like, end of turn stuff like power through or disease or burning or stuff like that, like, it can actually be quite impactful to the overall survivability of your army. So, my steel man of this would be there's lots of armies that kind of play in that way and like chip at you slowly over time. And if that's what you're up against, Nurgle, Zinch, a lot of armies like that, this guy is super good and really valuable. Okay. He makes you stay in a little bubble. It's not a tiny bubble, but it is still a bubble, right? And that's a cost, but whatever. It's a decent sized bubble. Now, the downside is if you go up against an army that wins in one phase, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're up against the Hammer army, like you're playing Iron Jaws or Khorne or somebody like that, that's just like, no, we're here for combat and we're gonna rip you apart, right?
Yep.
Okay, I needed 20 health to destroy your unit, and I did 28 damage. Oops, I did 27. You're still dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think it's very matchup dependent, is my point, right? There are matchups where I think he's like super valuable, and there are matchups where I think he kind of just does nothing. Mm-hmm. And the reality is that I don't think he's terrible. I still wish he wasn't 140. It does feel too expensive for this like non-wizard guy, but it's a good ability. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Cool. The Lord Executioner. So this guy rules. Because as per usual, he has a good ability, and that's what makes it done. First of all, his attacks are like, okay. He's anti-hero +1 run and crit auto wound. Again, so he can, like, if he goes and fights a hero, he's like 5 attacks, 3 threes, 3s, 2. Not bad. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. He should be crit mortal on his own. He's the big executioner guy. They should have just given it to him. Just give it to him.
Yeah.
Sure. He's the executioner. He has his once per turn army, any combat phase, staring death in the face. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit. Be the target. Roll a die on a 2-up. They kept it. You thought it was going to go to 3-up, Paul. You did. But it didn't. It still stayed a nice 2-up. Subtract 1 from the attacks characteristic of the target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. In addition, if the target is a hero, -5 control score. I really like this guy. I think this guy rules. I think that ability rocks. I think the fact that it's on a 2-up is really good. I think the fact that it's any combat phase is really good. He's a great, like, anti-charge piece. Like, he can sit behind the line. He can be buried in there kind of at the back. So if they charge, they bring him into combat. He can also countercharge very effectively and use this ability. -1 attacks is like a crippling debuff he can actually put out there. The control score thing is like, whatever, it's fine. But the just 2-up -1 attacks is really, really good. And he is a bonus hero, right? So that's good. So there you go. I will say in favor of the Lord Executioner. And like the other thing about the Cruel Gas Cruciator, by the way, Cruel Gas Cruciator, despite not being a wizard, not a bonus hero.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, he does have to be in his own regiment. It doesn't matter as much anymore. I build most of my armies to be 5 drops, so like whatever. But somebody's got to be at the top of the regiment, I suppose.
Yep.
But this guy is a bonus hero, so that's cool. He can fit in, and I think he's really good. And of course he can do the, like off with your head. It is fun that he has a little bit of overlap, by the by, with the other guy.
Yeah. The
sentence guy, where it moves his execution to a 4-up. Like, I like that. That's neat. I don't like when they make rules, like somebody adds a keyword and then only on that scroll do they ever reference it again. Like, do stuff like this. That's good design. Where it's like this guy, hey, little bonus if they're working together. The scripter said this guy is for judgment and he is guilty. And then he sends out the executioner to do it. That's cool.
Mhm. like it.
What'd I say? He is 170 points. So you're paying a lot for that trick.
Yeah.
Oh, Kaz said, sorry, can we define bonus hero? Yes. Bonus hero means he can join a regiment as a blah, 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 so he doesn't need to lead his own regiment. So, he is a cursed soul. Ulrak, the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, Kurdos, Lady O, Nagash, and Reichnor can all take curse souls. There you go. Okay. All right. We're almost out of the heroes, Paul. We're almost there. I know, it's a journey.
Almost there.
Spirit Torment. Okay, so captured soul energy. Each time a friendly Nighthaunt unit. Oh, yeah, this guy, by the way, is still a hero. It's this little dude. You remember this guy, the little dude with the lock and keys? He's fun. He's a fun little guy.
Mhm.
Each time a friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit uses the rally command, you can make 3 additional rally rolls of d6.
Pretty decent ability.
Cool. How much would you pay for a guy with 5 health on 5 up that's giving you 3 additional rally rolls? And it's not a wizard.
Like 80.
Seems reasonable. Sounds about right. Would you pay 120?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what you'd have to pay to put him in your army.
Yep.
Okay. Chain Ghasts. These were always the little weirdos. Because they're like not actually a hero, but they go with the Spirit Torment and they have like 3 health and you only take like 2 of them at a time. And they can't be reinforced. They're just like, where did they come out of originally? Were they in like the original launch box set or something?
I don't know.
I don't
no idea
remember where they came from. But at any rate, they're little weirdos. All right, the Chain Ghasts. I mean, there has been times, by the way, in Nighthaunt history where they were like super strong. And they still have basically the same ability here, which is another link in the chain. Effect, roll a dice, add 1 to the roll if this unit is wholly within 12 of any friendly Spirit Torments. Great, so I have to take that crappy guy if I want +1 to the roll. Otherwise, on a 3-up for the rest of the turn, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Nighthaunt units where they're wholly within 12 inches of this unit. This is not a bad ability, obviously. I don't think the Spirit of Torment is worth taking. The Chain Gas themselves are 2 for 90, so they're still at 90 points. Right? So, like, it's fine. They're big bubbles of +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Like,
Guess that's okay.
Right. I mean, it's like 2 little dorks that are 3 health each, which will evaporate if they're ever touched, but they're cheap and they give a good buff. So they give good buff. And like, it's any combat phase. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think like I would take these little dorks. I would not take the Spirit Torment. I'm not spending 120 points to get +1 to my roll. I'll just get I'll just roll the 3 up. I would also point out that these guys are not once per turn army. So you can't have like 2 little packs of them and take a shot at both rolls, which is cool. All right, finally, Paul, we're into the units. Here we go.
Woo! We got there.
Woohoo! Chain Rasps. They're Chain Rasps. They're the thing with 1 health still. They're your little tiny dorks. They suck at attacks. They're cheap as chips. And they can pregame move. That's it.
But only 6 inches.
I mean, yeah, sure. But it's still a pregame move.
Yep.
They are 100 points for 10. 6 up, 5 up.
Not bad.
1 health, whatever. They're your classic cheapest chips infantry. Okay. Like, they're fine little dorks for 100 points. I have no issue with them. Pre-game move units are pretty decent. There's plenty of things where that's useful. Your Grimghast Reapers, the old GGRs. So this is where we begin the 2 health journey, right? Where this is where the big changes come in. You're not wrong, Obscurminator, that being 1 health is a low-key buff in this army. You can bring these guys back with all the other things, like, actually quite easily. Okay, GGR. They're anti-infantry +1 rend and crit auto wound, 2 attacks, 4s, 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. Now, I will say, I think between the Night Shrouds and the little chain gas guys, you can pretty effectively source out +1 to hit in this army, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of these 4s, I don't read them really as 4s. I think it is pretty easy to get this army onto like 3s and 3s. So that's fine. And anti-infantry is obviously good. And they have their little anti-combat phase ability. Pick an enemy unit that is within the combat ranges of 5 or more models in this unit to be the target, which is a weird restriction, but okay. Sure. Roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the target unit. For each 6, they take immortal damage. If the target unit has 20 or more models, then it's on a 5-up. Okay.
At least we didn't have to roll a 3-up for something.
Sure. Like, having a, like, horde thinner effect on your infantry is fine, right? It's not bad. Audio with the super chat saying, can't wait to talk about hex rates, a unit that got 1,000 times worse and remained the same cost. 1,000 times. That's so many times. Okay. Okay. Right on. So GGRs, by the way, what do they cost? They are 10 for 210. They are up 60 points. Pretty decent. I mean, obviously that's like everything's going to go up because it's factoring in the health change, right?
Yeah.
It's still a lot of health. It's 32 effective health in the unit. Okay. All right. Okay. Pyregeists. These weird little fire guys. Yeah, okay. They exist. They have that like end of turn ability type of thing. It's not exactly the same. It's a really weirdly worded ability. I don't like them. If somebody wants to defend these things, fine. They're 130 for 8, so that does make them one of the cheapest, like, health to, like, 60. You're getting 16 health for 130 points. It makes them one of the cheapest health to conversions. But, like, their attacks are Garbo, and they have an end-of-turn ability that's very hard to use. So,
yeah.
Like, they're very cheap, but they just, like, exist, and they can't be reinforced. So, they're just 16 health. With weird abilities.
Yeah. Yep.
They do have a range attack, though, which is okay. So that's fine.
Yeah. And you can shoot in combat with it, which
yes,
is not bad.
Yes. I mean, again, I understand they're like very cheap. In the scope of this book, they are like one of your cheapest health to point ratios. But I don't know what else they're doing other than existing. I guess they're shooting. It's like not that bad. Their shoot is okay. I shouldn't be so down on it. It's short range, but it's not terrible. Because it's like 2 attacks, 2s, 4s, rend 1, damage 1. It's not bad. Like out of the unit, you're getting 16 shots, right? On 2s and 4s. So you're going to hit with like, what does that boil down to? Probably hit with 13. Wound with 7, 6 or 7. Against a 4-up save, like 4 go through. So it's like a 4 damage out of your shooting attack. That's okay. It's not bad. Again, yeah. I think they're like, I think they're basically warm bodies or cold bodies, as it were, in this point. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people will take a bunch of them and just like literally flood the board with these little dorks and just play a health spam game. I'm not sure. Oh, that is true. 17 shots. I'm sorry. Yes, they do have a champion. So I'll move it up 1 hit. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not a fan of like worthless health. But okay, maybe I'll be proven wrong on this one. Craven Throne Guard. This is your crossbows. We all love the crossbows. 2 health, blah blah, 6 up, 5 up, all the standard stuff. They have their little Soul Hunter's crossbow. It's got a 16-inch range, 2 attacks, 4s, 3s, rend 1, damage 1, still crit auto wound, of course. The Craven Throne Guard are 5 for 100, so they did not change. And once per turn, army your movement phase, pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll a d3. On a 2-up, this unit immediately uses the retreat ability without any mortal damage inflicted on it. So if somebody charges them and fails to kill them, and it rolls to your movement phase, then you can roll a die, and on a 3-up, effectively, you can retreat. So, okay. That's fine. Like, out of these guys, you have a longer range, but you get, like, more shots. Because, sorry, you don't get more shots. You get less shots. So you get, like, out of a unit of, with your 100 points, you're getting effectively 11 shots at a slightly longer range. 5 hit, 3 wound, 1 goes through. I mean, they're basically no damage. Like, the Pyre Boys do have better shooting, but shorter range. And the difference between 16 and 10 inches is meaningful. So, whatever. We'll see if a bunch of people spam Pyre Geist out there and just have like tons of units of 8 floating around, clogging up the board. I could see it, but I don't know. Blade Geist Revenants. BGRs. They got their Tomb Great Blades. 2 attacks, 3s, 3s, 1 and 1. So could go to 2s and 3s because they got that 3-up to hit, which is nice. Yep. I dig that. And they've got Thrashing Desperation. While this unit contests an objective you control, enemy units cannot finish a charge move within half an inch of a model in this unit unless the unmodified charge roll was 7 or more. That is a very unique ability.
Yeah. That is a really interesting ability.
What do you think about this ability, Paul?
It's that they're contesting the objective, so you can't charge in, and it doesn't matter how many models are contesting the objective, so you could kind of string them out a little bit to form a wall and keep your opponent out a bit.
Yep. Yeah, I like immediately think, okay, cool. What I'm going to do is ring the edge of the objective, right? And like basically all directions they can reach. Okay. Because like these guys come in 10s. They're 210 points for 10, by the way. Okay. They're on 32 mil bases, so it's quite easy to like to get a significant portion of the objective covered without breaking your coherency. Okay. And then I just sit there and like double dog dare my opponent to fail their charge. Yeah. This goes back to that alpha bunkering strategy that we talked about earlier, right? Because if you just like sit on circles and score, you don't kill anything, but you're good at battle tactics. And this army is pretty good at battle tactics, by the way, depending on what you pick. Like things like scouting and stuff like that, they're pretty good at that. They have tons of scout units, obviously. And, so you can score well. You have a bunch of control modifiers that make it hard for people to take your objectives from you anyways. You have stuff like this out there. A couple of these are sitting on the objective. It's very easy for the opponent to just move up to 3 and fail.
Yeah.
And then just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, and at 7 is, they're like only 58% of the time they're going to be able to make the charge.
Correct. Tell you what, Paul, since it's cogent to you and I, if you're ever playing a teams game, okay, not like just a pairs where you're both, you know, like a traditional two of you, you each bring 1,000 points to the table. This combo is really fun with anybody whose army has the you charge on 1d6 now. Right? Because like they just can't charge you anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a fun thing. I hope to see like some Nighthaunt and like Skaven using the Vermin Lord Warp Seer or whatever at Holy Havoc. That's a fun combination. Just like your Nighthaunt spread out, get on a thing, and then just be like, and then that debuff goes on an enemy unit. And it's like you can't charge anything. Period.
Yep.
Okay. That is true. Murgong said instead of you rolling a 3-up, you're saying, hey, roll a 3-up. If you don't, you can't charge. Nice. Put the 3-up on your enemy. Okay. Spirit Hosts. Is it the most annoying model to build in the history of Age of Sigmar? No. Is it pretty annoying? Yes. All right. 3 health.
I always just use the old metal ones.
You could use the old. These 3. The 3 of them that are like this. Like, ooh, we're spooky ghosts.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sure, of course, Gellerman. Absolutely. They mentioned like you could charge something else. Yeah, I mean, I would assume you're setting up basically not like a moron if you're going to try to execute this strategy, but yes, you're correct. All right. That wasn't a dig on you, Gellerman, in any way. I'm just saying, like, I would assume somebody trying to execute that tactic is going to set up accordingly. Spirit Hosts. Each friendly Nighthaunt infantry hero, or sorry, they have their little Drawn to War thing. Friendly Nighthaunt infantry heroes have a ward of 4 up while they're wholly within this unit's combat range. Okay, great. Cool. There's your bodyguard.
Yeah, but wholly within this unit's combat range. That's a rough condition.
Sure. They gotta be, they're just like, they're stuck on you. Okay. You know, so as long as your base is like not 75, well, I guess you can spread around because you got 3 of them. So you can just like, right? Yeah. So like they could be around Lady O because Lady O is on what? Lady O is on a 100 mil base, 80 mil base. What's she on? 80 mil or no? 60 mil. Really? Wow, that's small. Anyway, so she can just sit right up against one on the back, but like for Allrack or somebody, they'd have to like be around it. But that's fine. Spirit Hosts are 3 for 120. And you're taking them literal just for the purpose of sitting there to bodyguard your heroes, to move their ward from a 5 up to a 4 up. Again, I think you take it in the Lady O never dies strategy, right? Or something like that. And other than that, I'm not sure what they're doing. Dreadscythe Harridans. Dreadscythe Harridan. Oh, it works. It's got a Duel of the Fates. Do you know the Duel of the Fates thing? The bump bump banana. Right? So I always look for things that you can fit on that key. So yes, Dreadscythe Harridans. At any rate, they have a lot of attacks. That's the reason you take them, because they are 3 attacks each on 4s and 4s. You know, again, potentially 3s and 4s in various and sundry ways. And enemy units cannot be healed or have slain models returned to them while they're in combat with this unit, which is a fun and cool ability. Dreadscythe Harridans are 10 for 210. So really out of this unit, what's that?
I really like that 210.
They do, yeah. I mean, you know, it's probably about what the things are there. You know, like, so this unit, if reinforced, so you're talking about a 420 point unit, right?
Yep.
Is gonna show up and put out 61 attacks, right? On hopefully 3s and 4s, crit auto wound. So it will do some damage, right? Like this is actually a thing that will do damage.
Yes.
So that's nice. It's only Rend 1, so challenge there. But still. It's a lot of hits. It's a lot of hits, especially with crit auto wound on there. Muirmorn Banshees. They have their thing that if somebody near them, they can unbind it, blah, 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 and then do damage to the caster. They still do that.
Yep.
Cool. They're 4 for 100. So, okay. Good on them.
Yep.
Dreadblade Harrows still don't attack, so it doesn't matter. I don't think they actually printed attacks on these guys. I think they forgot them. But they still have their little teleport around the board. It's a core ability. They can always just be removed and set up more than 9 inches from enemy units anywhere on the board. It is just your movement phase, not the old both. Obviously, that got changed and they kept the FAQ. They're still good. They're still good gold getters and stuff like that. Their very presence threatens enemy objectives, because if anybody ever walks off an objective, you just immediately steal it from them. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Dreadblades are 2 for 160. They actually went down 10 points. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Not bad.
And then Hex Wraiths. Okay. Hex Wraiths. 3 health. 12-inch move. Get taken. Obviously, they have the cavalry health. Hex Wraiths are 5 for 200. Same points cost. Didn't move. Okay. And they still have their charge +1 damage and crit auto wound. 2 attacks. 2 attacks. 2 attacks. 4s and 4s. Rend 1, damage 1. And then some horse things.
Yep.
If they charged, you get to do your little impact hitty.
Yep.
That's what they do. End of rules.
Yeah. Not very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, they're 15 health for 200 points. That actually puts them in like the pretty decent range of health to point ratio in this book. They are certainly not the anvil that they once were. They're like a weird, weak pseudo hammer is what I think they are. I don't think they are, but they think they are. But no, I would take like dread scythes and stuff like that every time.
Yeah.
The Black Coach. Okay. Here it is. Question. Are you just taking the... Doesn't the soggy Black Coach exist in Rule?
Yep.
That exists, right?
Sure is still there.
Sure is still there. Yes, it is. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing. This regular Black Coach is 230 points. The soggy Black Coach is 300. That's a significant points differential. That really says something about how good they know. Like, this one is down 10. The soggy one is up 20. But yet, like... Okay. I'm still taking the other one.
Yeah.
Like, even at a 70-point difference. Sadly, Por qué no los dos? Because you cannot take both. You cannot take both the regular one and the soggy one in the same army. Much to my chagrin. Because I would love to take the regular Brood Terror and the soggy Brood Terror in the same army. They're like the perfect pair. They're peanut butter and chocolate, and I can't get them together. They've said no Reese's. This is Officer Reese's. Yeah, you take the soggy one. So we can skip this. Your manifestations. We're almost done. You got your manifestations. Look, they're fine. That's my statement on the manifestations. Okay. The Reaper is like kind of what you think it would be, which that is to say, it's like an attacky one that's not very good. The Vault of Souls can do its like build up thing and then do damage. Fine. And the Mortalis Terminix, the one that doesn't move, can be set up at a long range and it can make you get +1 to charge, which is cool.
Yeah.
I would state that its effects are on a 2-up because it's a regular dice. You're not rolling a d3.
Yep.
So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mortalis is kind of the only one I really like. I think the Vault and the Weird Scythe are like, eh. I like how in this picture it's fighting the Goblin Cavalry because it's probably the only thing it would kill. I mean, it is damage 4, but still.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you got your Nexus of Grief, which is very funny terrain because you set them up, and then once per turn army, your movement phase, remove this terrain feature from the battlefield and set it up again on the battlefield within 3 inches of a friendly Nighthaunt unit, more than 3 inches from all objectives and enemy units, and more than 12 inches from all other friendly Nexus of Grief. And then, yes, enemy units cannot use commands while they're within 3 inches of this terrain feature. And you get to pick a friendly Nexus of Grief and pick up to 3 friendly Nighthaunt units wholly within 12 inches to be the target. So you cannot pick the same unit to be the target of this ability more than once per phase. And you get to heal, or you get to do the thing you would otherwise take a heroic trait for, but this is just a thing you get because it's what your terrain feature does. So there you go. It's fun that they can teleport around. Teleporting terrain is funny. Whoops.
Yeah. Even funnier that it's like a mausoleum that is teleporting around.
Sure. I mean, this is like a good faction terrain. Like, it's got good abilities. Yeah. The fact that it jets off commands, the fact that it can teleport around, the fact that it gives you like 3 points of your healing. So 3 points where you can access your healing from. You know what I mean? Okay. Fair enough. All right. That brings us to the Armies of Renown. Holy crap. How is there that many Warscrolls? It's too many, frankly, I think.
Yeah.
Probably. But here we are. All right. Okay. Armies of Renown. Let's go. Is the Nexus crucial in current AOS? No, it is not crucial. It's pretty good, but it will also at the same time just give your opponents more things they can charge for free to get into your units. Like, that's a good example of how to screw up the Bladegeist Revenant 7-inch charge thing, because the building doesn't have that same restriction. So okay. So first, Paul, we have the Clattering Procession. Okay. The Clattering Procession, what's neat about it is that you can give one black coach in your army the hero keyword. If you do so, any non-hero Nighthaunt cavalry units can be added to its regiment. Isn't that cool? We finally got it, Paul. We got our hero black coach. It happened.
Yeah.
So this has got to be good, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Reichnor, Knight of Shrouds on Steed, Dreadblade Harrows, Hex Wraith, Black Coach. You get it? Because it's like, it's horse stuff. You're doing horse stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's fun.
It's cute.
Yes, absolutely. You still get your ethereal. You're still a ghost. So that's nice. You got that going for you. And then once per turn army, end of your turn, pick a friendly Clattering Procession unit that used a charge or retreat ability this turn and is not in combat and is wholly within 9 inches of a battlefield edge to use this ability. Remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 9 inches of a battlefield edge, more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Okay. The end of your turn, you can, if you jump through all of those hoops,
you
can go show up on the other edge of the board. Now, as
I think you're good. I can hear you. You hear me?
All right, let's try that. Okay, everybody, can you hear me now? How do I sound? Okay. Paul, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I hear you the whole time.
I can't hear Paul. Why can't I hear Paul? One moment, please. Hold, please. Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened, everybody. Hold on. Okay, Paul, go ahead and talk now.
Yellow.
We're back, baby. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. We had a little technical issue real quick. We're back. Okay. Very good. Anyways, black raspberry and then black cherry. Great. Let's move through this. Clattering Procession. Once per turn, army your movement phase. Spectral Swiftness. Pick a friendly Clattering Procession unit that is in combat to use this ability. Blah, blah, blah. It can move a distance up to its move characteristic. It can pass through other models in the combat range of enemy units, but cannot end that move in combat. Core move retreat. Cool. Cool. It's a good ability. Pitiless Reapers. Pick a friendly Clattering Procession unit that is passed across any enemy units this phase. To use this ability, then pick one of those enemy units to be the target. Roll a die for each model in the Clattering Procession unit that passed across the target. Add 1 to the roll if any friendly Clattering Procession black coaches passed across the target in this phase. For each 6-up, inflict 1 mortal damage. Neat. Cool.
Yep. That sure is an ability.
It sure is. Then you get Silent Overseer. As your heroic trait, pick up to 3 friendly things wholly within 12 for the rest of the turn. The targets can charge and retreat. All right. We wanted to give back a little taste of the old, what was it? What the battle formation? Your artifact of power, if a friendly Clattering Procession unit wholly within 12 of this unit is picked to be the target of that spell, you can use the Unbind ability as if it had a wizard. So, you know, you can have an Unbind. I do love throwing good money after bad abilities where it's like we built this so specifically that you don't have, you know, like enough wizards. And so now you can.
Yep.
And then your spell lore is Spectral Lashes, which is plus 2 inches to your move characteristic. Fine. And Fell Riders, you can reroll run and charge rolls for the rest of the turn. Also fine. These are both perfectly fine spells. Spectral Lashes on a 4 is great as an unlimited spell. Plus 2 inches to move is good. Okay. Cool. Good. And then finally your manifestation is you just get the Reaper. Why? I don't know. Cause the problem with this Army of Renown is that you have to take a lot of bad units.
Yeah.
That don't actually do anything.
It is
Attack traits don't do anything now. Yeah. Go ahead. What'd you say?
It's almost exclusively bad units.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what you do. You have a lot of units they charge. What happens? Not much. That's the answer.
Yep.
You're just going to feel like you're fighting uphill. All right. The Eternal Nightmare. Bum, bum, bum. Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, must be included and must be your general. Any non-unique Nighthaunt infantry, you cannot include regiments of renown. They're still ethereal, except Nagash. And then you gather power. We got a little role-playing thing here, Paul. It's always exciting. Okay. The following effects apply to the friendly Nagash during the first and second battle rounds. Battle round 1. His move characteristic is blank, and he cannot make pile-in moves. He has a ward of 3-up. He has a control characteristic of 1. Alakanash and Zeft Nebtar each have an attack characteristic of 2 instead of 4. So he sucks, but he's very defensive. He just sits there because he's, you know. Okay, he's going. He's trying to reconstitute himself. Battle round 2. His move characteristic is 6. He cannot end a move more than 6 inches from the ritual site. He has a ward of 4-up. He has a control characteristic of 5. Their attacks are still 2. Oh yeah, sorry. What's a ritual site? What's a thing you do in the deployment phase? You must use this ability and to set up the friendly Nagash. Pick a friendly Nexus of Grief, wholly within friendly territory, to be the ritual site. Set up the friendly Nagash within 1 inch of the ritual site and wholly within friendly territory. After you have done so, he has been deployed. That Nexus of Grief is the ritual site for the rest of the battle. The ritual site has a ward of 4 up and cannot use the Hungry Crypts ability. And then we had so few abilities, we put a quote on this page for no reason. I'm sorry, what? What is this?
I'm not sure what this actually does.
Well, let's keep going. I'm sure it's going to get better, Paul. I'm sure it's going to get better. We'll go to page 2, where I'm sure all the good abilities are. Here we go. Okay. You declared a spell ability for a friendly Nagash within 18 inches of this unit. Measure the range and visibility of that spell ability from this unit instead of that Nagash. Okay, so he can channel an ability through a guy. That's fun, I guess. Yes, the phrase "a friendly Nagash" or "the friendly Nagash" is always funny, the way they have to write this. Your artifact of power. Allocate 3 damage points to this unit. Ward rolls cannot be made for these damage points. Then heal 3. The friendly Nagash. Once per battle. Your hero phase. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Okay. Your unlimited spell that Nagash gets to use is to subtract 3 from the target's control score for the rest of the turn. Uh-huh. And then the Will of Nagash is until the start of your next turn, if the unmodified hit roll or unmodified wound roll for an attack that targets the target unit is 1 to 3, the attack fails and the sequence ends. They're only hit on a 4-up. Okay. Uh-huh. And then you get all your spells.
Yeah.
Paul, what is this? What is this?
I am so confused.
Like,
I'm not sure what we're actually
this
doing
is
here.
Nagash. You stumbled upon him while he's doing a ritual, and so he like super sucks the first 2 rounds, but he's like unkillable. But he can still cast all his spells, obviously. I mean, he has much limited spell ability, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, really, what is this? What is this?
Well, you can set him up anywhere on the battlefield in your territory, basically.
No, he has to be set up within 1 inch of the ritual site.
Right, but the ritual site can kind of go wherever.
Sure. Yeah. It's your Nexus of Grief. So yes.
So I guess that's a thing that it can do.
Yeah, you know when else I can set up Nagash anywhere I want? When I just put Nagash in the army. And then, yeah, he doesn't have like this extra ward in the first 2 rounds, but he can like move and do stuff.
Yeah.
What is this? Seriously. What is this? Like, what's the end of this ritual? Like, he did it in the first 2 rounds. To what end?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
Maybe
he's just back, I guess.
to the
That's the
wall.
idea. Like, he has physically manifested. Because, like, is this Army of Renown trying to literally just tell the story of how he gets back into physical form after he got dumpstered by Teclis? Is that all this is?
Maybe.
Is this entire Army of Renown an excuse to explain how he can be back on the table after Teclis just teabagged him so hard the last time they met? That isn't really what happened. Actually, the Lumineth Cities thing came over and shot him a whole bunch, and then he died. But still, doesn't matter. Is that all this is? What is this? In both the FEC and this book, the Second Army of Renown is insane. It was written by an insane person.
Yep.
I do not understand this at all. This is crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know, like, thematically, flavor wise, like what this is doing. Like what's the fluffy reason for this? I can't even
He has
figure
to
that out.
physically remanifest. Okay, great. So, like, how about in Battle Round 3 Plus, he gets these additional rules because he spent time, like, building up and reconstituting himself properly, right? As opposed to just having, like, a manifested avatar.
Yeah.
What is this? This is nonsense. Like, this is nothing. This is nothing.
The old nothing burger.
Yes. So, anyways, that's the armies for now. And congratulations. There you go. Welcome to that. All right, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about Nighthaunt overall? We gone through them. We read it through. How do we feel?
Honestly, I'm not super excited about it. It's not making me want to run out and buy the army.
Sure. I think
Um,
overall, I agree. Keep going. Keep going. I'll wait. Keep going.
yeah, I'm just failing to see, like, how does, like, it's going to be pretty good at certain battle tactics.
Sure.
I really just kind of failed to see how it's really going to get out there and win games.
I think you're going to have two play styles emerge. Three if that Pyregeist thing manifests, which I don't know if it will or not. Hey, thank you, Mortark of Delusion. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, everybody. Keep those super chats rolling. It really is helpful. Okay, here's my general feeling. Gelman says on a 3, everybody's making 3-up jokes. On a 3-up, I can feel something for this army. Here's my general feeling about this army, Paul. I think you're going to see these two styles. I think you're going to see an alpha bunkery type style that uses like blade geists and some other stuff to just sit on circles and run battle tactics with like dreadblade heroes and things like that, right? To just like run around, do the appropriate scouting and those kinds of things where you don't have to actually engage to score all your tactics, right? And just basically run like a bunch of board control type of stuff, right? You're going to sit around on circles, play sort of a Sons of Badmouth, but with a lot more battle tactic play, which I think will actually be pretty decent, by the by, at scoring. Like, I think you're decent on the primary, even though it's hard for you to remove somebody off a circle. But if you can go first, you've got plenty of tricks to get on the circles, and you can be relatively difficult to remove. Okay, because you can be like wound dense and stuff like that. Assuming the enemy doesn't have a bunch of ward save removal. If the enemy has a bunch of ward save removal, you're in for a bad time. Okay. You are going to get shredded. Now, I think that's one playstyle. I think the other playstyle is a little more like tricksy playstyle, using like Lady O to lock people up and become unkillable with like Spirit Host next to her and stuff like that, where she just kind of sits there and like exists or whatever, right? And you use a couple of other like power pieces like Dread Scythe Harridans in mass, like 2 units of reinforced Dread Scythe Harridans to be your hammers. Probably like some chain ghasts or whatever, whichever one it is. It's +1 to hit, like running around behind them, stuff like that, right? And that's kind of your, so you're trying to do like a lock and rock style, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, maybe there's like a flood the board with Pyregeist thing. I don't know if that'll manifest or not. I would say I would never invest in that. Mortark of Delusion said, how is the FEC book written by the same team? Questions that we all have and have asked many times, Mortark. I don't know. So I think that like I would never invest in that Pyregeist flood the board strategy because that kind of stuff never lasts. If it becomes a problem, if it becomes a weird thing, then what's going to happen is Pyregeist will just like shoot way up in points, and then that strategy breaks in a heartbeat, and then you're stuck with a ton of like a weird Warcry unit.
Yep.
Just ask the Nurgle players how they feel about all of their what was that unit called, Paul? The little shooter guys.
I Cut out for a second. I didn't quite hear what you said.
No, your Nurgle shooter guys that everybody used to take like big reinforced units of. They came in
Oh,
Warcry,
yeah.
that crappy Warcry box.
Rotmeyer Creed.
There they are. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ask all the Nurgle players how they feel about all their Rotmeyer Creed investments. Right?
Yep.
So at any rate, I think that's probably the two playstyles, and honestly, neither of those are super exciting, to be fair. So I don't know. We'll see. My guess is this will end up on the lower side of the spectrum at this point. So
yeah.
But that's it. That's Nighthaunt. Kind of a want sad trombone noises, but we'll see. I'm sure over time, if it's weak, like point adjustments would make a big deal with this book. I'll say that. But in a bad way. It'll up their win rate, but it'll allow them to get a little more spammy, and that'll just create like this wound dense spammy nightmare. So that's going to be bad. So let's all look forward to that.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo! Yay! All right. Cool. Paul, well, hey, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you hanging out with me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, as always.
Of course. Thank you all out there for watching. Hey, thank you for everybody who chatted. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. It really does help support the show. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to support the show, hit like, hit subscribe. That stuff's free. It's so easy. And it's fun. Help build the audience. It tells YouTube that this is a good show worth watching, and we appreciate that. You can also check out all the links down below. Check out Fireball the Gazebo, John and I's RPG podcast. Check out Snarlcast. It's Uncle Adam and I's indie wargame podcast. And I've got a special surprise for everybody with Snarlcast. If you listen to next week's episode, next Monday's episode, which will be live from Nova. We recorded it. We did an episode there at Nova and recorded it. If you listen to that and you stick through the whole episode, we announce our next game that is coming out in Snarl in November. So you will know what game we are releasing in November. And it's a big, exciting one. I'll talk about it next week. So check it out. But yeah, hit up affiliate links down there. There's our Patreon merch store, all that kind of stuff. It really is super helpful and deeply, deeply appreciated whenever anybody hits that stuff up. So thank you all very much. Hey, Paul, pleasure hanging out with you as always. All of you out there, thank you so much. As always, we'll see you next Wednesday. Don't forget, start rolling dice.